Good evening. I want to thank the Avon Lake Republican Club, Tommy Patton, Lorain County's Republican of the Year, for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Matthew Spears, a candidate for the seat of Lorain County Commissioner. I want to start off with a quick statement before I get into my speaking points, something very similar to what I said at the Vermilion Area Republican Club, and to some individuals after the Lincoln Day dinner, of whom took some time from their schedules to speak with me after the event and clean up some air. One individual made a statement and had a question on safety, security, and negativity in current politics. And my question is, where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong as a party? All the naysaying, name-calling, all the negativity. Negativity only brings negativity. Years ago, we could have agreed to disagree. We could have hashed it out on the floor, shook hands, and tomorrow was another day. When did it become who can stab who in the back, smearing and name-calling? I believe we're all here for the betterment of Lorain County. Otherwise, we're in politics for the wrong reason. My point is this regarding the negativity. My campaign has not authorized, authored, been part of, tweeted, posted, printed any negative pieces against my opponent. And with only 5 days left, I have not seen or heard anything negative from Dave's Moore campaign. So for that, Commissioner Moore, sir, I thank you and your campaign for keeping it clean. Negativity only brings negativity, and if we can't do it on the facts, then it shouldn't be done at all. Granted, we all have the First Amendment right, freedom of speech, and we can't control those people that are not officially on campaigns. But I have separated myself from individuals who wanted to act negativity. So again, my gratitude to both campaigns for remaining civil. Now for the fun part. Again, my name is Matthew Spears. I'm 39 years old from Avon Lake. I'm a single father of 2 children, ages 10 and 7. I have a master's degree in criminal justice administration and my bachelor's in public safety management. I have a combined total of 15 years in first responder service, which includes 2 years in the federal service. I recently became a state of Ohio volunteer firefighter for my continued commitment to the public safety forces of Lorain County. And to continue that commitment, I'm going for my EMT certificate in May of this year. I have the endorsements of the Lorain County Deputies Association, and for the first time ever, the endorsement of the Lorain County Fire Chiefs Association. Having a strong backing and support of the first responders of Lorain County is one of the main reasons I became a candidate. Despite any other reasons that have been floating around there, and to put it out there, yes, I am currently Commissioner Hung's administrative assistant. However, I was not recruited by Michelle Hung, and I obviously was not recruited by Commissioner Moore. I'm here for the first responders and their issues and their feeling that they lost their voice in governmental workings. They wanted someone to stand up for them, and I answered their call. I also have the endorsement of Ohio Senator Matt Dolan, who is also a candidate for U.S. Senate, who's endorsing my campaign. One of the biggest issues out there is the radio communication program. First responders wanted one system, and they're going to get another. Pricing is that of the issue, but I would like the community to do their own research, talk to individuals, talk to the first responders, do your own research. I have done on my own time, my own independent research, and have come up with my own opinions. It is a controversial topic no matter how you look at it. Government does the best they can. However, we should be listening to our boots on the ground first responders for their opinion, and we should value it. Now on another note, the budget. It's a very big topic in the county. The ARPA dollars are going to be allocated at the end of this year, which means we need to be extremely tight with our budget in order to maintain a strong carryover balance. There are places within the budget that can be tightened up, such as outside counsel costs, inflated salaries, and costs on special interest lobbyist groups. In addition of spending, we can look at departments and their department line items and making synergistic alliances with other departments, elected officials, and other government agencies to see what they can bring to Lorain County and keep costs down. However, in my opinion only, it can only be done if we stop reckless spending. My opinion only. I feel the Midway Mall was was a bad purchase. It could have been done better, needed be. But you're going to see more borrowing of money for that project. That's a concern every taxpayer in Lorraine County should be afraid of. They say the port will repay the money. Well, I don't borrow money from the bank, turn and flip a property, and give my profits back to the bank. I keep them. An attorney told me that it will be hard for the port to gift that money back to the county. I'm not a lawyer, but I will respect the opinion of that of an attorney. It was also purchased without an appraisal. You can't mortgage a property without an appraisal. County auditor said it was worth $6 to $7 million, but you paid 14 for it. I feel that money should have went into projects to help the safety and security of the residents of Lorraine County. Roads, water, the sewer, 6119 programs, broadband communication expansion, health and welfare programs. I strongly encourage residents to make inquiry and question where your tax dollars are going and being spent on. If elected, I want to ensure the residents there will be proper spending of your tax dollars on appropriate items that will improve Lorraine County for all. Yes, we do need economic growth and development. However, there are grant funding programs that communities can get deferred tax liability for land improvements, federal and state dollars. The local dollars should stay local. Ford is spending over $1 billion on expansion here in the county. However, that expansion won't work because they cannot expand the sewer and water lines near their property. I feel that expansion program for the sewer and water should have been at the top of the list before they started their program. That is proper economic growth and development. Another item that's brought to my attention is that accessibility of elected officials. If I'm elected, I want to implement remote working locations and hours across the county so that residents can have access to their elected officials and voice their concerns and be involved in county government. I know some elected officials that do this at the state level, and it works. I'm sorry, Carmen?
No, 3 minutes.
3 minutes, thank you. And when people are involved, they understand the big decisions that governments have to make and when they have to spend money. On a personal note, because it's one of the things that are out there online, yes, my voting record. I'm going to admit to it right now. I will stand here today and say I have voted in a Democratic primary in the past. Twice for County Prosecutor J.D. Tomlinson and once for Sheriff Phil Stamidi. All before I entered the political arena. However, I want you to keep in mind one thing. There are staunch Republicans out there that were Democrats before they were Republicans. President Ron Reagan, Rudy Giuliani, and our next President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, were all registered Democrats at one point in their career. I feel that shouldn't be held against me because that makes for great bipartisanship work in government. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. Mr. Moore, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay, where's Tommy at? She usually needs a hug when I start talking, so don't start on me. Okay. Oh, I can use this, isn't it? Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks, Tommy. It was an honor to introduce you on the Lincoln Day as the Lorraine County Republican of the Year, Tommy Patton! Okay, you guys know me. I've been here quite a bit. This is my third run for Lorraine County Commissioner. Yes, when I was 38 years old, I had a company that about 250 people, sold it, got very lucky, and then the company that purchased me went bankrupt, and when I ran, they blamed me for destroying the economy. At that point, the Democrats will not stop at anything to blame me for stuff, because I have a tendency to watch your money. So when I ran the first time, I actually exposed the Justice Center. If you remember that little fiasco, I exposed I became a watchdog because I was there at that time with Mary Jo Massey and Betty Blair. Back then, the Democrats were actually, I could work with them because they were worried about the county too. Not the party affiliation, which is now today, which is everybody, both sides of that, we're all worried about party affiliation. Okay? So I got along with the ladies. I stopped the Justice Center for about 7 months until the pressure was too much, and they went with it. I said, I'm voting no, but I'm going to keep the thumb on the dollars. And we came in at $25 million less than what was projected. And in the meantime, I exposed a lot of corruption within the first 60 days. But the government's so slow, it took them 6 years till the commissioner went to jail, the architect went to jail, and the general contractor went to jail. And after every meeting during that time, I'd ask people to start my car and nobody would volunteer. So it was a trying time because I was the only Republican up there, okay? But I got along with everybody. We got things done in the county and a lot of great positive changes. But after I was out of office, and a year later, they got the full control back and went backwards again. So I decided, my daughters were young, I didn't want to run for re-election. And now that they're older, they're not going to be affected. I have three daughters. I've been married 37 years, 2 grandkids, a son-in-law who's a federal officer. My daughter is a paramedic. My other daughter is a director of memory care, which she keeps testing me and saying the words. My other daughter's an HR director. Okay. So my wife volunteers for Superheroes for Kids of Ohio, which is going into these hospitals as superheroes. And these are kids that are usually, they're fighting adversity, and I would say 80% of them don't make it. I couldn't do that. Okay, that's what my wife does. And so my son-in-law, he is a Purple Heart veteran of Afghanistan, and we're very proud of his service. I'm not a military guy, and it was my first experience when he got wounded that I took my daughter to Fort Bragg. And it was, as someone who's out in the military, very emotional times to go through that kind of stuff. And it got me really into what's going on with veteran services. And so at veteran services, what we found out when I took office the second time, is they get a certain percent out of their budget. The RC says this is a percentage that they get. And we saw that they weren't spending the money and getting it out to the veterans. Well, there was a new veteran service director that came in from Marcy Kapler's office, Jacob Smith. And you wouldn't think a guy like a Jim Jordan guy would get along with a Marcy Kapler guy, right? But we do. We get along. I even called him again today to see how he's doing. He collects coins, I collect coins. So that's what we're supposed to be about. And that's what I like him, We have the same vision to help. So with veteran services, back in 2019, they passed a resolution to support it. And passing resolutions to support don't mean anything. So we got involved with the Visitors Bureau, and as I was starting to take away the power from the commissioners and trying to make that a standalone board, because 3.5% of the bed tax goes to them, they get like $700,000 a year, they got $2.5 million sitting there, and they're not spending it. Except maybe when you see there's a re-election campaign, okay? Sometimes you'll see that. So what we decided to do is we're promoting like the Eclipse, we're promoting Lorraine County. I tried to actually promote Cuyahoga County, all these billboards, to say, hey, it's 6.5% sales tax, Cuyahoga, come on down and shop. Unfortunately, guess what? You got monopolies going on because the county government owns the billboards. So Lamar said, we're not going to lose our base. That's what they're dealing with. So we're doing a lot of marketing to promote us. But also in that count, they were raising money for years, and we found a memorial fund. And with that memorial fund, we decided we're going to use that money to fund the Gold Star Family Memorial Monument. And there will be the 13th memorial in Ohio, and it will dedicate that on September 29th. And that's basically to honor the families of those who have lost members in past, present, and future wars. Pretty cool, right? And so what's going to happen there is he can go right back to the Revolutionary War. So I was talking to him about how far back can you go. He goes, anybody, and it's to honor and the individual that's involved with Jacob actually lost her husband in Afghanistan. Also what happened was we created an honor fund because their hands are tied at the veteran services. They can only spend on certain things. So we created a $300,000 honor fund so they could help out other VFW folks and other folks that are out there. Another thing that wasn't covered is the homeless vets. When they come into the offices on a Friday night at 3 o'clock, guess what the process is? Well, we got to submit a request for money. That's got to go to the auditor's office, and hopefully in 10 days, 2 weeks, we'll have the money. So what I found out with children's services, they get these visas. Because when a family comes in off the street, they can take care of them, put them into a hotel, take care of that family because they have the need right now, not in 10 days. So guess what? We passed it. Lorraine County led that. And I worked with Jacob Smith, Nate Manning, we went down to the state of Columbus, and that is now law. In 88 counties now, all the veterans in the state of Ohio can benefit if they're homeless and they need money, they need a place to stay, they need some work boots, Some of these guys are actually had jobs living in a van. These are stories in Lorraine County coming from Jacob Smith. And so I'm proud to be a part of that. But we changed, Lorraine County led again, and we're changing how we treat our veterans. So they actually created a legal program because a lot of times, people just need help if they're on the verge of losing their home or other legal issues. Transportation is something that I was dealing with 20 years ago, and I come back and guess what? It's still talked about. They try to pass taxes countywide. Guess what? This county will not support a transportation tax. We got too many people that don't live in Elyria and Lorraine outside those areas. So why not create 2 micro systems like Sandusky did? So we started working on that, and the city of Lorraine decided they didn't want to wait until they started, and so I worked with Mayor Bradley, and we got that started. And we got NOACA funds for that, but that won't start till 26, 27. I said, that's way too long. We want to move now. The mayor of Elyria, they got a new mayor, thank you. I'm glad that happened. And the mayor and I can work together in Elyria. The mayor and I can work together in Lorraine. And we're going to try to create 2 microsystems. The reason why is you only get $5 million a year in grant money to run transit. I told you, that's your budget, make it work. And so that's what we're doing with transportation. I have 22 of these. Hopefully I can get it done. Marty had 6 or 7.5 minutes time. Tommy, can I get 8 more? Okay, so anyway, I'm going to skip over. Transparency. What we started doing in 23 is we actually would spend your bills and spend your money, right? Okay, requisition, boom, yes or no. We have 4 to 8 pages of your bills. Now we let you see it, the public, see what we're voting on. And a lot of times you may not like it. We may be uncomfortable, but guess what? We're showing you the bills, we're showing you how we're paying them, and we're voting on them. And we're also allowing the public to participate, which has never happened, before we go over an agenda. Tell us what agenda item you'd like to talk about, and maybe sometimes even Rudy came in, and I said, Rudy, wait, we want you to talk in our discussion point, because you're the expert on the bus system and seatbelts. So we brought Rudy in, and we allowed him to speak, so we allow so much transparency that there's a lot of things saying we're not transparent. But here's what happened in 22. 85 hours of executive session. There's 40 hours in a work week. Okay? I was there, I actually couldn't go, and then a lawyer said, Dave, you gotta go in there and you gotta report it, because if they're doing stuff that I'm supposed to do and a judge releases it, I can talk about it. I said, it'd be 5-hour sessions. Guess what? I was president 23, 6 hours all year. That's it. They went from 85 hours of closed-door meetings so nobody would know what's going on, to we went with 6 once this group elected Jeff Riddell commissioner, okay? Economic development is huge. Port Authority is huge. That was used for Democrats to get jobs. We came in there, rebuilt that board. The guy quit because they saw us coming. One guy actually quit. I'm not going to say his name, but he's a Democrat operative. He says, I'm quitting because of the hostile environment 2 weeks before we took office. Okay, they knew what was coming because we're accountable. We're making you accountable. And so therefore, we rebuilt the Port Authority. So economic development, that is a tool of economic development. This is sad. 10 minutes. Okay, let me get into this. Economic development is not sexy when you start talking about sewers. It isn't. But guess what? What's going on right now is they're sweeping in and they're taking over our townships down below, and you're getting 5 to 10 acre lots with septics. What we're trying to create, Avon Lake has a problem. I don't know if you know this, but you guys are funding the other 6119 called Lorico to the tune of $1.5 million a year to subsidize that because they're not economically running properly. And I see her coming. I'm gonna start. This is what I do to Tommy when I start talking. So the bottom line is we're gonna fix that. Can I get 5 more minutes so I can continue?
You want your 5 now?
No. Here. Okay, here you go.
I'll be back.
5 minutes, all right. Thank you, Commissioner Miller. For the last 5 minutes here, if I'm elected, my focus will be on how I can make Lorraine County lives better each and every day. That's what we as Republicans should be doing, to create an agenda to make Lorraine County stronger and not divided. I want to repair the relationships with other elected officials, the first responders, and other government officials. Even if there's a change in candidacy, the current relationships, whether good or bad, will remain in place. But to mend and repair for the greater good is what's important. 95% of my campaign material stayed for the residents of Lorraine County. I've been a Lorraine County resident since 1995, and I don't plan on going anywhere else anytime soon. Or if we are fighting without results, we are just shouting. Well, let me bring the expected results you deserve. I will leave you with this. I'm fully capable of working with anyone at the administration building, regardless of who. I don't hold grudges. In fact, I feel I made 3 new friends last Thursday. We as a party need to unite for the greater good. Both Mike Whitty and Tommy Patton said at the Lincoln Day dinner, regardless of who wins, we need to be supportive of the members of our party to get back to work and do the best work we can and best agree. You have my word standing here. I'll support whoever wins in all these primaries. For as politicians believe that the voters can't be trusted with the truth, then the constitutional republic is seriously at risk. And for a constitutional republic to function, it is essential that a government respects the people and takes things seriously. Remember, it is not how loud you shout, it's what you say that matters. I yield my time to Commissioner Moore. Thank you.
How much time was that, Tommy?
You've got 5 minutes.
Oh, I got an extra 5? He yields, you know that. Okay. The Port Authority. Let me talk about the Port Authority here. Okay. That is a very strong tool in which to use to attract businesses here. For example, the sewer system which we're talking about, Avon Lake is being hit with $1.5 million a year. So when I came into office, I looked at Lorco to say, let's buy them and get them out of debt, right? They owe about $30 million, I think 20 of it to you guys in Avon Lake. I did an analysis and I looked at it, it's worth 10. You guys eat it? No, no. Okay, so now what are we gonna do? Okay, we did nothing. I stopped because they're their own separate entities. So what else did we decide to do? Well, Jeff Armbruster comes on board. I would say he's our resident expert in sewers. Anyway, he understands it. We understand the importance of it, and we decided to start pushing for a 6119, which means let's do a county-wide system. Maybe we can alleviate the debt service that this community is supporting, a system that can't be self-supportive. How do we create a self-supporting system? Vermillion right now is hit with they have over $76 million. And the people in Vermillion that I know, they're getting letters saying your sewer bill is going to go up $300 a month. Now we all like Vermillion. You go to Vermillion, the nice areas, some nice homes. The majority of those people are on fixed incomes. $300 is going to wipe a lot of people out. So I went to the city council and I said, here's what we're doing. We would like a resolution at least supporting us that you will join us to help you save money, okay? I think it went 7-0, if that's what I know, 7. So that's something that's coming. It's going to be basically going down Baumhart Road because we're looking at a mega site. Now we'll be the largest mega site in probably the east of the Mississippi. What's a mega site? 2,600 acres of development. I've talked to you guys before about chip companies and that. Well, right now, I talked to Lieutenant Governor Houston, who came up, called me Sunday night. The office did said, "Can you set up a couple meetings?" They call them the LG, so I'm going to do the same thing. I say. So LG comes up. We have a meeting on Avon Lake Mayor, North Ridgeville Mayor, Commissioner Riddell, and Marty Geller is the one that hooked up that didn't have the mayor's phone number yet, so he came in. And we sat and we talked. We had an hour with the Lieutenant Governor. What's going on in your area? What's happening? And then we went over we were at Beast Ready 3. Then we went to Hot Dog Heaven. It's like night and day, right? So I take the LG to Hot Dog Heaven, and it was like weird. It was like, okay, he was really uptight at our meeting. We go to Hot Dog Heaven, he's laughing, he's grinning, and our mayor and Amherst went right after him. I want money for this, and this, So it was really good. And then the next thing you know, he was totally relaxed. Well, what was going on? While we're in this meeting, he keeps getting calls from the governor. I said, well, this is me, you guys don't know. Hey, tell the governor. I said, hey, right? And so he comes back, hey, he wanted to say hi to the Lorraine County Commissioners. I was talking to him. But what was going on is all 3 of those Senate candidates running and the governor, they're all talking about endorsing who they're going to endorse. So he's under a lot of pressure. And so that was why he wasn't smiling in the North Ridgeville meeting. So that's working, that's moving forward. That's the ability we have. Let's face it, politics, Republicans are running Columbus. So we have access. Jeff has access. Just call and pick up the phone and say this. I said this at your club's meeting last February when the lieutenant governor was here. I said, I want $45 million. You guys want to bring somebody up here? I want it interest-free. And I'll even sell you the airport. We'll just move the airport. You know, whatever it was, it worked. So we have access to that money, and he knows it. We're probably a couple of weeks away from making a very, very good deal. The other thing is, Mr. Armbruster is a little bit more aggressive than I am. He went and asked for $150 million because that's what we're going to take to get the sewer system on Baumhart Road to get it all the way down to the quarries. By doing that, we're changing the development. We're moving it from Turnpike, Route 2, instead of going into our farmlands, and the density is going to be one home for 5 acres, septic systems, and we're trying to change that, and right now that's the feel-good thing in the federal level and the state level. So my job is, every time I see these guys in Columbus, is asking for money, that we need money. The investment board, that's something that's kind of boring. But when I was there a year ago, I looked at the one thing that says, I said, Google, why do we invest in this company? You know, this mutual fund. I'm like, 81% of their decision-making is based on woke idiotology. And I'm like, come on, really? We're investing in Toyota, and we got a $1 billion investment from Ford? We're taking your tax dollars and investing like that? We finally passed it, so we won't be able to invest in those type of issues. Now, just to let you know, it's not new. California doesn't invest in anything like federal bonds because they don't believe in foreign wars. So this is nothing new. But I felt, that's where I don't think your tax dollars should be invested that way. So what happened was we have about $20 million, $30 million in ARPA funds that we moved into lost revenue. What do you do with that? We invested in ourselves. We spent $13.9 million, lent it to the Port Authority. They bought a blighted mall. We're 60 days from selling it. And let's say we sell it for $18 million. We are a lender. I didn't give a grant. I didn't give the money away. I invested it. We're getting 3.74%. We're going to get it back. From what I've seen, we have 2 great companies that are going to buy it. They're going to redo the facial. Hopefully by August, September, we're going to see a lot of great things. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be, we're going to take that eyesore, because when people come into Elyria, what do they see? An abandoned, blighted mall. Guess what? We are talking to Fortune 50 companies. That's the top 50 companies that are looking at our county, and when they see that, that's what they're seeing. They're bringing in 6-figure incomes, 5,000 jobs that make 6-figure incomes. You know, you want something that's going to be a show place so people want to live here. Can I get 10 more? Okay, if you don't mind, okay, I appreciate it. Vote for David J. Moore next Tuesday. And I kind of celebrate, vote more, vote often. That works sometimes. I kind of use some of the Democrat lines, see how I am, but oh great, I got the county prosecutor. Done? Okay, thank you all for letting me speak, okay?
Thank you. Does anybody